All right, hello to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. We've got less than 2 weeks of tracking the tropics before, guess what? We get to say goodbye, adios to the 2024 Atlantic Basin hurricane season. It has been a busy one at times. We've had some lulls in the action, but overall, it pretty much panned out how we expected, an above average, above normal season with several named storms, several of those becoming hurricanes, and we even had, of course, some major hurricanes. So let's talk about where we've been so far for this season with less than 2 weeks to go. Of course, early on in the season, we started off with our very first name, Alberto, which was a tropical storm. Then we had Hurricane Beryl, which ended up being one of the most powerful hurricanes of the season. That one and Milton briefly grew to Category 5 status. So we've had 18 named storms. Out of those, 11 have become hurricanes, and out of those, we've had some major hurricanes, including Beryl, Helene, Kirk, Milton, and Raphael. So we've had 5 major hurricanes this season. That's, of course, Category 3 or greater. So really, we've used just about every single name on the list that was released for this season. We haven't gotten to Tony, Valerie, or William. So if we can manage to squeeze out another tropical system before the end of the season, the next name on the list would be Tony. However, we are hoping that doesn't happen. As of 3 a.m. this morning, though, we have gotten rid of Sara, thank goodness. Sara, of course, was at one point a tropical storm. It rolled across parts of Honduras, the Yucatan Peninsula over the weekend, and interacting with that land kind of did it in. It fell apart, and it is no longer a tropical system. So Sara has fallen apart in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, and at this point, there are no active tropical systems in the Atlantic Basin. Good news as well, none expected over the next few days. Here's even better news. Just 12 days left in the 2024 hurricane season before we can get a break for a little bit of time before we have to worry about the 2025 hurricane season. But at least we will have some time in between to not have to worry about anything coming at us from the tropics. All right, I want to jump down to the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche, because that is where whatever is left of Sara is located, and it's not much at this time. It has really fallen apart. It's been dismantled by that land interaction over the last couple of days. It did dump over 30 inches of rain, though, for parts of Honduras over the last 2 to 4 days. So the damage is done, but at least it has fallen apart. It's dissipated in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, and it is no longer a tropical system. Actually, the last advisory for Sara, the remnants of Sara, was issued at 3 a.m. this morning. So at that point, it still had winds around 30 miles per hour and pressure around 1,005 millibars, and it was moving to the northwest at 13 miles per hour. So basically, it's just fallen apart, and it is basically just a trough of low pressure out in the southwestern Gulf. But that tropical moisture associated with what's left of this system will actually get picked up by a cold front rolling through the Houston area for today. So watch what happens with our futurecast. Here is that tropical moisture that is left over from what used to be Sara. Notice it kind of drifts to the north. It gets picked up by this strong cold front currently rolling through the Houston area right now. And by Tuesday morning into Tuesday afternoon, the moisture associated with the front combined with that tropical moisture from the remnants of Sara will actually cause a pretty big shot for some heavy downpours. This is going to be stretching from New Orleans over to Mobile and Alabama, and even over towards Panama City and other portions of the Florida Panhandle. So definitely an enhanced chance for heavy downpours that could lead to some flooding for the northeastern Gulf of Mexico for Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, all the way through the first part of Wednesday. Notice that heavy rain stretching from Tampa to Miami as we go into Wednesday morning. As the cold front comes through, like I said, also the remnants of what used to be Sara will be combining with the moisture with that front. So big time rain chances in store for portions of the northeast and eastern Gulf Coast. at least for Tuesday and Wednesday. I think by Thursday that front will start to move on out. It is not going to impact Houston in any way with the front moving through here today. That tropical moisture should stay to our east. But as far as the rain is concerned, over the next week or so, I want to show you what the models are showing basically between today all the way through Sunday. And it is a decent shot for some heavy rainfall. Notice for New Orleans over to Mobile and into the Florida Panhandle, notice the yellows, the oranges, even some streaks of red showing up to the south of New Orleans. That is the potential for as much as 3, 4, maybe 5 inches of rainfall over the next week or so for some of these locations. Like I said, that's going to be the combination of that cold front moving through and the tropical moisture from what used to be Sara rolling over this area. Now, as we take a look back to the west, notice for Houston, Galveston, Bryan, College Station, not much rain at all. Once we get this front through here by about 6, 7 o'clock this evening, that's going to be it for the Houston rain chance, really for the rest of the week. So we will be drying things out. So overall, we are finally starting to calm things down across the Atlantic basin as we check out the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico. We are not seeing any action of a tropical variety out there right now, and actually no tropical activity is expected for the next few days. Like I said, we only have 12 days left for this hurricane season, so things hopefully will remain calm and quiet for the remainder of our hurricane season. However, we are still a little concerned that maybe we're not finished because we still have water temps out there that are still a little bit warmer than they normally are for this late in the season. Now we're starting to cool that water off a bit for northern and eastern portions of the Gulf of Mexico, upper 70s, but still low to middle 80s for the remainder of the Gulf, western, northwestern portions of the Caribbean Sea. We've still got water temps well into the 80s. So certainly there is still the possibility, it's a small one, but there's still the possibility that we could have a little bit of action before the season is over with. So like we always say, don't let your guard down until the season is completely over. If you have cruises planned, make sure to keep checking back and we'll let you know if there could be any potential tropical trouble. As far as our tropical forecast, of course, NOAA and the CSU forecasters did predict an above average season. And of course, we've had exactly that. We've had 18 named storms so far this season, above the average of 14 and right in that range that was predicted by the NOAA forecasters early in the season. We've had 11 of those named storms become hurricanes. That's above the average of 7. And we've had 11 of those hurricanes become major hurricanes. 5 of those rather have become major hurricanes. So that is above the average of 3 major hurricanes typically that we see in a single hurricane season. So bottom line, it's been a busy season. It's nice that we're close to the end. Things are calm and quiet for now, but keep in mind that there's still at least a small chance that we could have a little activity still going on even at the tail end of our hurricane season. We've got to get all the way to the end of November. Of course, hurricane season officially ending on November 30th. At least we've gotten through the peak, which is usually mid to late August and September, but we've still got to get through the last little stretch before we can give you the all clear. So of course, keep checking in here every afternoon. We will continue to update you throughout the remainder of hurricane season, and I'll let you know if I see any potential trouble out there in the tropics, but at least for now, we can breathe a sigh of relief. Sara is no longer a tropical system, and at least at this point, I do not see any additional tropical systems developing in the Atlantic basin over the next few days. So take it easy, put your Christmas lights up, your holiday lights, enjoy your Thanksgiving preps. Have a great time, stay safe out there. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. Have a great afternoon and evening.